Borsch, Ukrainian Borsch, a Ukrainian traditional dish. Do you know this dish? I think so. So, in this video we will make borscht together with you. But before we start cooking, we need to go to the grocery store and buy some ingredients which I don't have at home. So, let's go. We don't use a packet, we use this. Торбинка.
Все?
Then I will tell you what ingredients we need for borscht, but we decided that since we came to the store we would buy other food. And while I was walking around the supermarket, I decided that I would also cook cheese meatballs. Therefore, in this video there will be two recipes at once. We will cook them one by one so that you don't get confused. This store is called Silpo, and today everything is very beautiful laid out on the shelves. Weird sized carrots. I'm trying to find a normal carrot. By the way, I already had videos from other supermarkets on my channel, but we haven't been to this one yet. Here all vegetables and fruits need to be weighted independently on separate scales. In most supermarkets this is no longer necessary and everything is weighed at the checkout. We also had small bags for vegetables for free, but for about a year or half a year they were paid. But if, for example, you can stick a sticker on bananas and carry them in a bundle, then, for example, you cannot carry potatoes in your hands. There is also a department with incredible pastries. There was some kind of mini banquet for children, the first time I see this here. In general, there are a lot of buns for every taste. Of course, lots of sweets. We have a sweet tooth, so we didn't live without sweets. By the way, everything is fresh, and if you come in the evening, there are just empty shelves. This is a dairy department. I need cream and sour cream. And as usual, we went in for a few products for borscht, left with a basket, and it's good that not with a cart. If you are the same, write in the comments. Then I remembered that I also need meat. Alcohol is sold simply in a separate department like everything else. I like to come to the supermarket in the morning when there are very few people and a lot of fresh goods. I started shooting this video even before my grandmother's birthday, so I took holiday hats and we are already at the self-service checkout. As a child, I dreamed of being a cashier, so I like to break through everything myself. But here, of course, there are also ordinary cash desks. I will show you further. On the right there is a mini cafe from the supermarket. As you can see, we took a lot. Self-service checkouts are also different in each supermarket, but usually there is one or two cash desks where you can pay in cash and on the rest only with a card. But in general, I think that there are already self-service checkouts everywhere if we talk specifically about supermarkets. On the left are the usual cash registers. The check came out for about $26.
So we cook borscht and meatballs with cheese and cream. I'll show you the products we'll need. For borscht,
About half a kilo of pork or veal meat, but with a bone, so the broth will come out tastier. 2 large or 4 small potatoes, 1 or 2 bay leaves, salt of course, oil for frying, I have sunflower, tomato paste is a must, 2-3 tablespoons, garlic, 1 clove, 2 beetroots, carrot, but I have a very large one, I will use half, and onions, half will go to the borscht, the second half to meatballs. So cream, this is for ready-made borscht, you can do without if you don't like seasonings, and citric acid. You can use soda or regular lemon instead of citric acid. On to the meatballs. Cheese, semolina, cream, chicken, fillet and egg. Also salt. And half an onion. I forgot, for borscht you need about 300 grams of cabbage. You can pause and see all the ingredients. I have written in details for convenience. I will cook a little in smaller proportion. I don't have a large saucepan, and my husband and I can't eat that much together. So get a bigger bowl. Of course you can change the ingredients a little and less what you like less. In general there are many variants of borscht. I am cooking this recipe. Cheese meatballs. Dried tomatoes are added to meatballs in the original recipe, but I don't like this, but if you like, they can be added as a seasoning along with herbs. Technically, as with any recipe, you can add something of your own or clean up. For example, I don't like pepper and don't add it anywhere.
First of all, let's prepare everything for the borscht, and then we cook meatballs. For the borscht, we take a pot, pour 2 liters water from the filter.
What are you doing here? Bonik is right there, he will as usual help us cook.
And throw out meat in the pot.
I put the meat to cook over medium heat without a lid. If foam appears, I remove it, and when the water boils, cover with a lid and cook over low heat for about an hour. Then I wash all vegetables before peeling them. Then I wash my hands and go to clean it. It's more convenient for me to clean everything on a napkin and then just throw everything away. I found transparent gloves at home, put on so that my hands were not dirty, because I will clean the bit, and after it my hands are all in juice. In general, the whole cooking of borscht takes about 2 hours. But during this time I have time to cook something else in parallel and wash the dishes. I hate washing dishes, although I love to cook. By the way, we rarely have dishes, but we don't eat that much, so we manage. It's more convenient to clean vegetables with such a thing that with a knife, and faster. Then I wash everything again. Bonik is nearby, everything is under control. Then I cut potatoes, on the track I rub carrots and beetroot. Onion I chopped. I don't need a whole carrot, but I rub it all and pour it into a sieve so that later it would be ready. I lay the beet separately, I peel the onion and always cry, no folk remedies help. I have it in my fridge, I cut with a cold knife, try not to breathe, shove mint jam and cry all the time. If you know any other ways not to cry besides learning to cut faster, write in the comments. Also, by the way, write please what other recipes of Ukrainian cuisine you want to see here on the channel. After I finally cut everything, let's go to fry. First I fry the onions and the carrots for 5 minutes and then I add the beetroot. I cut the cabbage and yes, there was no less cabbage in the store, we don't eat it very much, so I gave it to my grandmother after that. In order for it to be softer, I cut it into strips and then squeeze it with my hands. I add beetroot to onions and carrots and add citric acid, vinegar or lemon to it. Next I add tomato paste, I have such a bag, I add it all. By the way, you can also add tomatoes, but we are out of season now and tomatoes taste like rubber. Mix everything well. Also in the summer we had a shortage of vegetables because of the war. It was Ukrainian and those that were imported were not an adequate price, and in general I have already said that in Ukraine the prices for some products have risen 3 times in a year. In addition, you often write that we have low prices in dollars, but don't forget that our prices are in hryvnias and the majority receives the same salary in the hryvnia, and the rate for the year has also risen by almost 2 times, and the prices are the same. The prices of gas line too and utilities, all this has grown in our country. Therefore, in the dollar, prices seem very good, but not so much in the hryvnia. In the meantime, I take out the meat to cool and sow cabbage into the broth. By the way, also consider the fact that many people were left without work and not everyone had any savings. I also lost my job and for half a year we lived on our savings, like our whole family. Because many companies have already returned to work, but for the first half of the year some companies didn't work at all, some closed. So back to cooking. I remove the frying and shift it separately. After adding the tomato paste, fry for about 5 more minutes. While everything is cooking, I wash the dishes. I don't like it when it's dirty around, even in the process. Then I add potatoes and wash the dishes again. The meat is separated from the bone and cut into cubes. Add meat to the pot. And when the potatoes have become soft, I add the frying bay leaf, salt and spices and garlic. And then I cook for another 5 or 10 minutes. Then we leave the borscht to brew for 10 minutes and we already remove it from the stove. And before serving, throw a few tablespoons of sour cream directly into the borscht. I taste it, add more salt and proceed to the preparation of meatballs. You can take any meat for minced meat that you like best. Add an egg and 2 tablespoons of semolina, salt and spices. Mix well and form meatballs. We will make them in the oven, but you can also fry them. By the way, Bonik usually sleeps deeply at this time, but every time there is some movement in the kitchen, he watches very carefully. Guys, thanks for watching and I will be very grateful if you share this video on your social networks. Thank you. Next, prepare the fill. We take cheese. If you have a piece, then great. I like to buy already grated. We mix cheese and cream, add onions and herbs there. And if you like dry tomatoes, also add to the filling. Mix well and put directly on top. Then I turn on the oven at 180 degrees and set the meatballs for 35 minutes. So I'll get it in 35 minutes. It can be eaten alone or with a side dish. So enjoy this meal. Bon appetit. I hope you liked the recipes, and see ya in the next video.